Everybody good to go here? Yeah.
Good to go.
Okay. Well, I thought it was really good today. We've kind of shooting for this week to kind of get some work done on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then lighten our load into leading into another scrimmage on Saturday. So today was a lot of competition, threw some different situations at them, goal line, short yardage, did another set of 2-minute at the end of the game, which I thought got operated pretty well offensively today. Did some short yardage, so 3rd and 1s, 2 that the defense did a great job with. So it's pretty physical and competitive. And that was coming off, day off yesterday, lighter load on Sunday. And obviously we got after it pretty good Saturday in the scrimmage, over 100 plays Saturday. Both sides made some things happen, just like a typical first scrimmage. I think the details and execution offensively weren't what we wanted all the time. I was pleased with our tackling on Saturday. Looking at the defense, first time truly going live for that amount, watching those guys. There wasn't the ridiculous amount of missed tackles. And it was pretty clean. There wasn't a turnover over the 100 of plays. There was definitely some 4th down stops because, we go for it on 4th down around here a few times, and we got some stops on 4th down. Emphasis special teams wise on Saturday, we did get a good amount of work on the punt team. And then we did do 2 live kickoffs and kickoff returns. And so checking out a returner or 2. Guys running down on kickoff, making some plays. Jaden Robinson stood out there. John Miller stood out there on kickoff. And those guys are trying to earn their way on the bus and earn their way on the field. And it looked good. Field goal wise, we did attempt 10 kicks. One made 7 of them. I think Everett was pretty good. And then we had a few other guys kicking, but Everett was solid there on the field goal attempt. So it was a pretty good Saturday for the first time going out. Got a lot of things done. And that's kind of where we're at. So we'll go back to work tomorrow and then lead into another scrimmage on Saturday.
Jonathan, outside of guys like Ham and Jamar, is anyone begin to separate themselves during the first 10 days at any of the positions?
I mean, I think there's some clarity at tight end, looking at the body of work Teagan's had and what he's looked like now. I think when we throw 2 tight ends out there at the same time, you'll see Luke and Ralph. We like our young tight ends. Those guys could maybe find a role in some situations, but I think there's some clarity at tight end right now. I think on the D line, you're always going to be rotating guys, but Hodgins and Simon, pretty solid inside. At the same time, James Rawls made a nice push in there to earn some time. So, we got some veterans that are coming back. Even on Jamar, I mean, BJ's having a great camp, and he's done some huge things for us, and we're always going to rep a couple of guys at running back. So I can see both those guys getting a good amount of carries leading in the season.
Have you been able to narrow down the quarterback competition at all?
Not to extent. Everybody got reps today, all 4 guys. And there wasn't a really clear-cut best performer at quarterback on Saturday. I think each of those guys had a few plays, but also had some things to clean up. And so that rotation of those 4 guys continued today. And we got to watch the tape after today. We'd like to begin to narrow that thing, but until it's clear, we're not going to force ourselves to make a decision.
Coach, did everybody come out of the scrimmage healthy?
No long-term injuries. We had a few kind of, Isaiah Newell banged his knee, and so he didn't do much yesterday, but he was out there today. I mean, we just had some minor bumps and bruises type stuff, but nothing that is threatening game 1.
Does it still look like the defense is kind of the dominant side of the ball in these practices, or is the offense beginning?
I think they're ahead a little bit. I wouldn't describe it as dominant. Even after today, finishing the 2-minute drill, both times offense scores touchdowns. So, I thought there's been some great back and forth competitively early on. Defense had a strong hold on the thing, but after watching today, I think we're making some strides offensively.
Jonathan, what did you like most out of the scrimmage? And then what was one thing that you kind of wanted to address right away?
Yeah, I liked how clean it was. I talked about the penalty, or lack of penalties, took care of the ball. Tackling, I really liked. I actually liked, and I told Lindgren, I liked kind of the play calling throughout the scrimmage because we were able to kind of get balls completed and get them tackled. There wasn't a bunch of missed assignments. There's still a ton of detail especially on the offensive end of it, whether it's route running, protection, things of that nature. I thought on the flip side, defensively, the pass rush was pretty consistent. I mean, that ball needed to come out because we were getting to the quarterback pretty quick. I liked that part of the scrimmage. What I didn't like or what was glaringly, again, I think everything, but the details offensively was something that we gotta tighten up in a big way.
How is Anjay coming along? 'Cause I haven't heard his name much, since last season, since he got hurt.
He looked good today. He had great energy. We're counting on his leadership in such a huge way. Been here a long time, greatly respected on the team, and so he's done some things. He really has, and continues to be a great leader for us.
You guys were so good in the red zone a year ago. What's the potential from this group?
Yeah. We executed a high level last year in the red zone, and some of those pieces aren't here, right? I mean, Hodgins was a big time red zone threat, and Jake's decisions down there of when to take a shot at it and then when not to, those two pieces are gone. And so you got to recreate, and it might look a little different. And so we got some guys that can, throw the ball too. I think we can be physical in the run game. But each year is going to be new, and we'll have to have some new tweaks this year in the red zone.
Coach, I'm curious a little bit more about the QB competition. What has stood out for each guy? What would you like each guy to improve? Can we just get a little bit more, little more depth on what you're evaluating for those four?
Sure. I think it starts with, starting with Tristan. His understanding is, top notch. He thoroughly knows what he's doing out there, what we're trying to accomplish. He needs to be a little bit more accurate after the first week. And actually, we talked yesterday about it, which comes with, he's got a few fresh faces he's throwing to, and some of the timing it takes a while to get that sorted out. On the flip side, I think Chance, he needs to get more comfortable and understand the offense better. And in fairness to him, he had limited spring ball, and now he's just getting into his second week of training camp. And so it's a little bit of flip with Chance. I think Ben got a good, strong arm. He's a good learner. He's understanding things okay. But the speed of play is catching him at times. I mean, this is not high school football anymore. And so he's got to speed that up. And then on Nick's end, Nick has moved the ball pretty well when we've done team periods because of some of his athleticism, his ability to scramble. He needs to be able to consistently play in the pocket.
Thanks.
Jonathan, yesterday Chip Kelly said that they were training guys at multiple positions because of, you never know when players are going to be out for COVID reasons. Are you doing a lot of that too, or?
I have not thought of that. We are not currently doing that. That's interesting. That's a thought. I think on the offensive side, you get to choose the 5 guys you put in the game. And so if you, by chance, have a larger number at a position group out, well, offensively, you just put more receivers out there, more tight ends out there. And that kind of fits our scheme. And I think it's pretty similar on the flip side. So that's an interesting thought, but we have not been doing that.
Jonathan, were there any freshmen in particular who stood out during the scrimmage?
Beeson had a couple plays. He did. Got a nice screen on a 3rd down and long, and turned it into a bigger conversion for some yards. John Miller, like I mentioned, on special teams, running down and make a play there. Looked pretty good. Both young tight ends had catches, and actually played pretty physical in the run game. Overman and Tommy, those guys did some stuff. Again, I'm careful to just select those only those guys, but right now those stand out to me.
From what you've seen of the freshmen, is there anyone that has any chance really to play a significant amount of time, on offense or defense, or most of them, going to be special teams type players?
Right. No, I think Beeson has a chance if he can continue to be in the rotation receiver wise and be out there as a freshman. Outside of that, I mean, this is a huge week. I told the team today after practice, this is a huge week for the depth chart, guys competing at positions. And really, I think some of these freshmen will have a better week 2 than week 1. So it's a little early to say, but the way it's trending for Beeson, I do think he's got a great chance to be in the rotation. And that's probably it outside of like you're mentioning, the special team snaps.
Are you planning just one more scrimmage, or are you having two more?
Right now, it's scheduled for one. We might recreate a little bit of a, I don't know, I just a mock game middle of the week after this week, just to work on the substitutions and the procedures of the game. But it wouldn't be as a shooting for, like I'm saying, 100-play scrimmage.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about who's standing out in the defensive backfield?
Yeah. Akili Arnold's having a great camp around the ball. Alex Austin, I think he's leading the secondary in picks. At least he was a few days ago. He's done a nice job. You can tell Ray Jean is learning it, and his movements are fluid. He looks good there. Alton Julian has come along and made some plays on the back end. So Dunny, I think Dunny had a good scrimmage, and it wasn't a bunch of pass breakups. He getting in there and made a few tackles, which was awesome to see. That group's been competitive because we're going to play 4 or 5 at a time, and you talk to Coach Blue. I think we got 9 or 10 guys we feel good about putting out there.
Going back to Beeson, I know you've talked about him quite a bit, but what is it in particular about him that makes you think he could be ready to play this year?
I think it's physically and mentally. He's understanding the offense, the nuances of route running, and he's strong and can run. He's got strong hands. He's had a couple of contested balls that, DB's right on him, and he's been able to pull the thing down. So he doesn't look too young out there.
Wide receiver in the past has been, we've seen guys struggle to get open. Who in the wide receiver room right now is impressing you besides Beeson?
Probably Beeson. I think Champ's having a good camp. Being a veteran, and he was pretty explosive. Colby Taylor, again, showed up a few times third down wise. He's had a good camp. I think Bradford, we know what we can expect out of him. And again, he's playing every position. He's done some things. Anthony Gould had a couple of explosives today that he looks sharp. And Irish got over the top. So, we're counting on, like I said, it might be a little bit more committee this year compared to Hodgins catching, whatever he did, 70 some odd balls, which we feel good about our committee we got at wideout.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Guys good? Okay, appreciate it.